This is the She Dares to Travel podcast, and I am your host, Raquella Pollock. After spending a decade managing the #1 travel agency in Canada and now working with tourism businesses in risk management, I am here to connect you with women who are taking the travel industry by storm, as well as business professionals with a passion for travel, just like me. We are here to inspire, motivate, and uplift you to not only follow, but plan out your dreams, no matter where in the world they may be. Be sure to leave a review, subscribe, and follow along. Thank you to Hotel Z Kelowna, Victoria, and Tofino for being our sponsor. You can also save 15% off your next getaway using the code DARES2, DARES 2, the number 2, at hotelz.com. These funky and unique hotels are in British Columbia, and they're going to have you not wanting to leave while you're on your next vacation. Enjoy. Hello, all you daredevils. We are back another episode this week, and I am excited to talk about all things snow and ski. And the weather is cold here in the Okanagan, and I know that everybody is looking to get out on the hills, and we're hoping for all the snow. So we have a great guest that is here with us today. She is on Silverstar Mountain as we speak, and Kristen Hurd is joining us. She has studied photography, sport and recreation management while following her passion of skiing that's taken her from Australia all the way to here in Canada, and she now is an instructor, trainer, and supervisor at Silverstar Mountain Snow Sports School. Kristen, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for this opportunity. I've been hearing about this for a while, so it's kind of exciting it's happening.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I know when I heard and started to read up a bit more about you and just your story and your journey, I think it's really incredible what you're doing. And I love, and it's always following the theme with the women I speak to, just about following their passion. And a lot of it leads into the tourism industry, and it's just amazing all the different things you can do. So you're joining us from Silverstar today.
Yes, I am. It's pretty cold today. Starting to snow, which I'm excited about because we need a little bit more.
Good. And have you always been living in Silverstar?
Yeah, so pretty much since this is my 9th year going in. So for my first so many years, 3 or 4 years, I used to go back and forth. And then I decided my last 2-year visa just to stay the whole way through and do the residency pathway.
Awesome. So you're gearing up to become a full Canadian resident, is that right?
So I had my residency. I've had it for just over 2 years now. So I just did my citizenship test must have been 6 or 7 weeks ago now. So
Ooh.
it's just wait now. You got to be patient.
Exactly. How did the test go? How did you feel you did?
I did okay. You only had to do get 15 out of 20 and I got 16. The questions weren't that hard. It was just a few me off that I had never seen before.
Oh, I'm sure you know more than I do, and I live here all my life. So that's good for you. That's exciting. Very exciting. So did you always, with going back and forth, did you go to college or university at all?
It was more college online.
Okay.
So when I wanted to do my residency for Canada, my education that I had already with photography, the Canadian government didn't want to recognize it because it was through a more independent college. And then I had to do something that related to what I did here with my job. So I went into the sport recreation management job through a college online at home because it was way cheaper.
Yeah, I bet. What type of learning do you get through sport and recreation management?
It was a lot of theory. So you did a lot of creating events, creating budgets, trying to organize management skills, supervisor skills. And you just had to base it on you already had to be in the industry in order to do the course because you had to pull a lot of things from this organization in order to move forward.
I gotcha. So a lot of what you learned is pretty relative to what you're doing now?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
It's weird
Very
now.
nice.
I didn't think I'd actually ever put it really into place. And then it was after I got my sport and recreation management, I was oh, I'm never going to use it. I just used it to get my residency. But then I got off supervisor role and I was oh my gosh, I'm actually using this now.
Awesome. Well, and it's so good when that does happen because a lot of the time you're right, it can be so much theory or it can be practical, and then you're like, when am I actually ever going to apply this? So it's amazing that you're able to now jump into the supervisor role and to be able to use a lot of that too,
Yeah.
which is great. So tell me a little bit about yourself with your passion for skiing. Have you always had a passion for skiing, a passion for tourism growing up?
Yeah. So growing up, I learned to ski at quite a young age. So my family grew up skiing from Like my mom learned to ski when she was about 11. And so that continued on through all the generations. At the age, I think I was about 6, my family decided to buy a ski shop in Australia. So in my local town. So from 6 to 21, I was in the industry a lot, but more on the hard goods and the soft goods side of it. So I used to go a lot to the trade shows. And so I learned a lot about clothing and equipment originally. And I
Yeah.
just worked part time as I got older in the ski shop doing just like little random jobs like cleaning ski boots when they'd come back all dirty and cleaning outfits because like they had stains and stuff on them.
Wow. So definitely in the ski industry from a very young age. I've
Yeah.
always even said to my mom, let me go skiing with school one time. And when I was younger, I was like, I don't know, 10. And I always said to my mom, I wish she had put me in more. But she was like, yeah, it wasn't really it for your dad and I. We didn't really like to be that cold. So we didn't really bother. I was like, oh, okay. But lucky for you, that has worked out really, really well. Have you traveled quite a few places going on ski trips and holidays then?
As a like when I was younger, from about a baby to probably around 8, 9, 10, I used to ski in Perisher in Australia a lot. Then
Okay.
we had the shop. So I used to go on like little trips with other people, not necessarily my family. And then I had a 3-year break. And then my grandparents ended up doing a trip to Canada just to check it out. And they did 11 resorts, I think, within so many weeks. And they really liked it here. So the next year they were like, well, you should come over with us. And that turns out it was way cheaper to come to Canada to ski for a month. And that meant we could shut our shop in the summertime and come and enjoy a month of skiing again. So that's
Nice.
tradition.
That is an incredible way to go. Wow. And they did 11. How many did you say?
Like
11?
11 resorts within like, I want to
Wow.
say like 6 weeks or something like that.
Good for them. That's incredible. And I can imagine a lot of it was probably out west then, hey?
I think they started from like they did Banff area and they did Kicking Horse and then they made their way out this way.
Very, very neat. Did you always know that being an instructor was something you wanted to do, or is it more just a passion at that time of skiing, like a hobby?
Originally it was just like a hobby that I did. It was a sport that my family introduced me to. And then when I came here at the age of 14, I saw some instructors out with some kids and I was actually carrying my camera and I took a really cool cute picture of the kids with their hands in the air. And at the time it was the kids center was called Star Kids. So everything was quite bright and colorful what they wore so you recognize them. And that picture like really stuck in my head and I was like, that looks like a fun job. That's something I could do, but I didn't know like how you did that. Like, how do you become an instructor? So it was like from that age, it's like, it always looks fun, but I don't know how you do that.
So where was the moment that you found out? Was it just asking around?
It was so when I was 21, we became close friends with the guy who owns Bugaboos here, so which is a little
Okay.
cafe. And he just randomly said to me, he's like, hey, do you want to come work for me next winter? And I was like, yeah, sure. Cause I worked in a cafe back in Australia. So it was like, it was nothing new. And I was like, oh yeah, may as well do something different. And that's when I figured it out. I started asking questions and Googling it here. And I was like, oh, I can actually do this. Like you don't have to have anything special. You can just sign up and see what happens.
Okay. And then do they do a lot of the training and instructing on the mountain for you on how to instruct?
Yeah, so it was a back then it was a 4-day course that you did with like 8 other people. So
Wow.
I did for 4 days and I felt like I fell back in love with skiing because I feel like there was a period when I was a teenager because none of my friends really skied. I was kind of like, oh, skiing sucks, it's boring. Like couldn't relate to anyone because like no one understood like how fun it was. So I kind of was like, oh yeah, whatever. And then when I did the course for my level 1, I was like, this is actually really fun. And I felt like I fell back in love with skiing again. I was like, now I can actually
Mm.
teach people how to ski, like if they've never done it before.
Very, very neat. So level 1 is where you start off, and then how
Yeah.
does it progress from there? What other levels are there?
So there's 4 levels of instruction, and obviously the fourth level being the highest. So that winter, after I did my level 1, I got advice like you should go do your level 2, and I was like, oh really? But with level 2, obviously the teaching's a little bit harder, and I had very little teaching experience. So I taught some friends that worked at Bugaboos a little bit, and some other like family friends when they were here. I was like, okay, I have a little bit of teaching experience, and then I was like, we'll just go in, we'll see what happens. And the teaching side was definitely harder. I
Mm.
could tell like, everyone had like a few seasons behind them, so it came more natural. And to me, I was just like a little bit timid. I was like, still don't know what I'm talking about really. And then I ended up pulling it off and passing it. And then the guy that runs it is actually one of my mentors and trainers now. And he's like, you're really actually good at this. if you come back and work for us next winter, he's like, I can see you going to like all the way. And I was
Oh,
like, oh.
wow.
So I was like, that's
Very cool.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And what, in a nutshell, what's the difference between the levels? What are you learning that's so much higher level? Or can you take people in different type of like, backcountry versus groomed? How does that all compare?
So like level one is very like you never ever. Your level two is like you never ever to an intermediate skier you can
Mm,
teach. Then once you do your level three, it's like never ever to an advanced skier. And then level four is like to an expert skier. And then from your level three, you start to do your training levels. So there's four levels of training or trainer levels as well.
okay. And
First level of the trainer.
so what is like if I'm an expert skier, which I'm not, I will not ever claim to be, but I enjoy the sport. If I was an expert skier, why would I want to have an instructor?
It's just like more of the skill level. You want to refine your skill levels, and it's
Mm,
be more specific to the kind of snow or the terrain. So it might be more
okay.
groomer, bumpy, or just to challenge yourself a little bit more.
I understand. And also, if it's a brand new mountain you've never been on too, yeah, to have someone take you. Very, very neat. So you'd mentioned a bit about your mentor as well. Is that something that you found within the industry, quite a few different mentors or a lot of people that are really open to helping others get into this industry as well as sport?
Yeah, so I feel like everyone has a different mentor or mentors in this industry. Most of us have like one or two main people that you go to, and then
Mm,
you'll meet a whole bunch of other, like we call them course conductors, that are trainers as well. You'll meet a whole bunch of them doing other courses, but you don't always gel with everyone.
yeah.
We don't always like believe what they say. So like you have your core people that you go back to always, and they're really encouraging. Like I had two. One of them's already left, which is sad because due to an injury.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I've got lots more.
Well, and it's interesting too, thinking of being a ski instructor. I can imagine, and a lot of skiing, or I speak to some clients from the commercial insurance side of things when it comes to heli skiing, and things like that, and a lot of it is quite male dominated. Is that something that you found out in your industry as well?
Definitely. Like if you
Yeah.
look at our list right now for the ski school, it's mainly guys. So, we've got a few requests over the last week. They specifically want a female instructor, but it's for like a higher end lesson. We don't have many people to put on it. So
Interesting. Yeah.
all the women do their level one and two, and then they kind of stop at that. They never really progress anymore.
And why do you think that is?
I think some of the guys definitely can be intimidating, and like they are stronger, they are more powerful. But
Mhm.
like, if you don't have that mentality or that intimidation level, like you can try and keep up with them.
I bet. Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Mind over matter.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind over matter. I get it too. And there's something that I admire a lot about, male mentors in my life and male figures too. And I think a lot of the time it's that there's a lot more of that feeling of just let's just do it and
Yeah.
worry about the after, like let's overthink it after. Whereas a female, I know for myself, it's a lot easier to overthink things
Oh, it is.
beforehand, right? And you get a little bit more cautious.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we can learn a lot from with the male counterparts too. So you're right. I really do hope that the industry does start to see more women because there's some incredible women skiers out there.
There is like a
Yeah.
lot. Just like even like some of the people coming through the ski school and people I teach, they're like, "Oh, you're such a beautiful skier," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Like I didn't do this on my own. Like I had a lot of help from Norm, who's been like my main mentor and trainer, and he's been very persistent on like me doing certain movements right over and over and over and over again, and me
Mhm.
copying that. Like that's how I've got there. And like
Absolutely. And that
you know,
goes for so many different industries and things in life too, right? It's the consistency. It's
yeah,
the how bad do you want it? How
exactly.
bad do you want to, yeah, progress in what it is you do with your skill set?
Exactly. And then, you're not going to like all the feedback all the time, but like sit back and reflect on it and be like, no, you know what? They are right.
Yeah.
I do need to be a little bit more angry when I go into the bumps because I'm going to control me coming down there. I'm not going to let the terrain control me.
Great advice. Very good advice. So with all that you've learned, what do you think really stands out to you for something that has been really good advice that either you give to people that you're instructing or that someone has given to you over the years?
I think some of the best advice I got last winter. So I was doing one of my level 4 camps and it was actually here. And I had a bit of a meltdown on one of the afternoons, and I cried in front of like three, like with the levels, going back to the levels, like you're a level 4, but then you can be a level 4 course conductor as well, or a level 4 trainer. And I had three of them like on my camp or my group, and I had a complete meltdown and cried in front of all of them. And they were all super supportive. And then obviously my mentor Norm had heard about this and pulled me into his office. I was still kind of upset. And then he says to me, he's like, you know what? He's like, at this level and where you're at, he's like, you're either gonna like the advice or you're not. So take what you like and keep it, and then just throw everything else in the bin. Just throw it all in the bin. And then you're going to be better. You're not going to worry about it anymore.
Great advice. It is great advice. Where were all the emotions coming from? Was it thoughts like you weren't good enough, or what was going on in your mind then?
We kind of did like an afternoon where you kind of case studied a person within your group, and it was my turn to be the case study, and that's fine. Like I'm happy with people like picking me apart and whatever, but the dynamics of the group were not great. So there was only two females, me and another lady, and the rest were guys, but two of them were like definitely older and very more old school. So they were persistent about me doing this specific drill. But what happened was when I did the drill, a really bad habit that I used to have came apparent again. And I was really upset and frustrated because I'd spent hours and hours drilling this out of me. And then all of a sudden, it's come back, just poking and poking, being like, you're doing this with your shoulder, you're doing this with your hip. I'm like, where did this come from again? Like, I haven't been told this in like over a year. Like, really frustrated me because they weren't even being like considerate. Like, even though I had told them, I was like, what? Like, I had drilled this for hours out of myself, and now it's back. What the hell? And I
Mhm.
just really like made me upset because I'm just like, well, there goes like hours of work undone.
Well, and it's easy for your mind to go there right off the bat
Yeah.
too, right? Because you're right, it's frustrating when you've put so much time and effort into something and all of a sudden it's out the window. And I can
Yeah.
imagine it's even harder because then you have people critiquing you and
Yeah.
you're like, "No, I know. I know."
Cry. And like when you cry in your
Yeah.
ski goggles, it is honestly the worst because it splatters everywhere. You can't wipe it off and it fogs up. So like it was funny because one of the guys, his name's Ron, he looked at me and obviously you could see it's fogging up and he's like, you
Yeah.
okay? And I was like, no, I'm not.
As hard as those moments are, guys, I've cried at work before. As hard as the moments come, they're really important still to
Yeah.
have, right? They're still important, and that's good that you were still surrounded by support as you were getting the constructive
Yeah.
feedback. So, do you think something like that experience is something that's going to help you to keep your shoulder in the right position, or whatever change it was you need? Do you think that's going to help even more
Oh,
now?
will help. Like I back to the advice, like throw it in the bin. Like basically what they were telling me was not what I needed to
Mhm.
do. So we throw that in the bin and we go back to the drill that helped eliminate it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's true. And how important it is. And that's why it's so great to have mentors and to hear this advice from
Yeah.
people when you need it, because it's a lot when it's all coming at you. On the flip side, for you being an instructor, what's a moment you have where you've coached someone or helped someone that you're just really, really proud of?
Proudest moment I had was during COVID. So I was like, during COVID, I was still here in Canada. I couldn't work. So I skied every day, which was really good fun.
Mhm.
The ski school only consisted of 17 instructors that year, and they were all Canadian. And a lot of them wanted to do their trainer exam. So once you get your level 3, you need to do a trainer exam. So you can start being this course conductor and leading CSIA courses. So I had passed it few
And
days
so
before.
the CSAA, that's the
Canadian Ski Instructors Alliance.
perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I had passed my trainer exam about 4 or 5 days before we got shut down, like when COVID became, everything,
Mhm.
the world came to an end.
Yeah.
And then we had this whole break. So some of my friends had done it with me, but they had failed. So there was this massive break. But then obviously, because I couldn't work the next winter, but I was still here, I think it was 10 instructors all decided they're going to do their trainer exam because it wasn't busy work wise. There was a lot of time for us to train. So obviously we had no trainers either, really. We had Norm was here, another guy, Gerard, that he was kind of around, but there was no one to consistently like train them. So they went and did the course and they were a little bit confused. And I had a pretty good grasp on the outline of what they needed to do. So we trained nearly every day. It might have been the morning or afternoon. Sometimes it might have been the whole day on this trainer exam. And then when they all went and did their exam, they all passed. And I stood there and another guy that was in the ski school was like, you did this. And I was like, I did. I helped them all pass. Like, what the hell?
That's amazing. And how many were there?
It was like at least 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. That's incredible. It's a great moment. Very, very important
Yeah,
moment. It goes to show all the work that you put in too, right? When it is something and again, the consistency, it's so important.
yeah, I do know what I'm doing. Like I do know what I'm.
Right? One of those moments like, "Ah, I have been paying attention. Great." That's incredible. I think when I think of skiing, I think of freedom. I think of, being out on the mountain, the cold, you're in the elements, you're submersed in nature. What do you think the big draw is for some people who again are looking to maybe perfect their skills? What would you say is the best advantage for having an instructor or for working with an instructor?
Best advice is it's to understand the skills more. I think the one thing I find with people coming to get a lesson is that there's always this fear factor of speed and not being in control. So having an instructor like will be able to be very specific in like how you need to move in order to control the speed and then eliminate that fear. But obviously there's gonna be a little bit of fear, like because as you get better, you're gonna go on steeper terrain. So like it's a bit of a vicious cycle. It comes back again.
That's very true. I've been saying for a number of years, and I have some girlfriends actually that have been wanting to take some lessons. So I will let you know when it's time for a lesson,
Yeah,
okay? Because
I'll be ready.
okay, good. Good. Because I do really want to get better. And you're bang on. It's that fear factor. And the older that I get, the more that I'm like, oh, I can't be off work with broken legs.
Yeah,
Like, it's that it is the fear that comes up. And actually, even recently I went skiing at Big White here, and I went with a girlfriend and I also have not skied again since I was like 10.
yeah,
And I was snowboarding for a bit, but I kept falling a lot. So I'm like, let me just try skiing again. So my husband and I went up to Revelstoke Mountain, and I'd never skied Revelstoke before. And everyone was like, you skied for the first time in like 20 years on Revelstoke Mountain. I was like, yes, I thought I could do it. So I did, and I went and slow and steady, like did what like did good enough, got down the mountain. But the biggest thing is the more that I'm parallel with the mountain and the more I'm leaning forward, I am in more control versus whenever I lean back, that's when I would lose my legs and that's what I've learned last year. So we'll see what this year
yeah.
brings. Yeah, very, very interesting. Are there any moments that are just awe-inspiring? Is there anything you've seen when you were on the mountain that has been, taking your breath away?
I'm going to talk about Norm a lot because he is honestly one of the best skiers you will see in Canada.
Mm,
Everything is so effortless, and then he just dances down the mountain. You're like, I want to be
mm,
like that, and it's
beautiful.
inspiring. Like, and you try and follow him, and you're like, you got one leg out here, you're gaining speed, but you don't want to crash into him, and it's just
Wow.
like for his age now too. You're just like, you've always been this good, and I feel like you're just getting better the older you
Mm.
get.
He's one with the mountain in a way.
Yeah, and even his mentor, he's all like mentor growing up as well. He's also here,
Oh,
and like he's
nice.
a guy that you just go up to and you can ask him some questions, and he's very soothing. His voice is very soothing.
A and he's an instructor on Silverstar?
He used to be like a
Okay.
long time now.
Yeah. Wow. It's incredible, and I feel like there's gotta be a bit of camaraderie and family between everyone that does work on the mountains, and you're bonding when you're skiing together too.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
always say that we are like a little family, like,
Mhm.
because like not everyone does this. So,
Yeah.
all your friends, like in summer, even like all my friends are still from ski school. It's just
Oh. Well, and that's what I was gonna ask you. What do you do in off season?
in off season. Last year, I worked just in the Bugaboos and the cafe here, but
Mm,
hopefully this summer with some changes within the ski school and the mountain, I'm hoping to be more still in the ski school.
nice. Very nice.
What it entails yet?
That's
But
okay. Yeah. Very, very neat. And what do you see for yourself with what you're doing? Because how long have you been instructing for? How many years?
8 years now.
8 years. So what do you see for the next 8 years, 5 to 8 years? Do you still want to be here, travel around a bit more?
Yeah, still love to be here. Definitely,
Yeah.
there's a great spot. The Okanagan, you're very central to everywhere. Once I pass the next half of my level 4, like it will open up more opportunities to travel like elsewhere, like within Canada. You could end up in New Zealand. You could
Mm,
end up, and I could end up home in Australia. Could end up in Chile. So it opens the doors for more opportunities in a sense to build yourself as a trainer as well. So there's like a lot of these things. I don't know if you've heard of the Rookie Academy before. There's
no.
to go and like work with them, and
And
you
what
do
do
like
they do?
courses. They basically do training courses for, I think it's from 4 to 6 weeks, and they're mainly based in New Zealand. So
Okay.
you help people train to get their levels as well.
Oh, I gotcha. So at least there's a lot of opportunity within the instructing where you can continue to grow
Yeah,
depending where you want to be in the world. Oh, very neat. And this is so like fascinating to me because I've never really thought too much into the instructing. I've
yeah,
always thought, oh, if I need help, I'll go ask, right? But of course there's so much more to it, which is really neat as well.
there is. Like, I think too, like it'd be really cool to be like one of the female trainers here, like the main female trainer, like try and help some of these females get over their fear as well. There's another lady in the ski school, Karen, like she's been amazing at what she does outside of this as well, helping some of us get over these little fear factors we have going into exams. And I just would like to like continue working on my training levels. Like I would like to be that
Mhm.
level 4 course conductor.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you're well on your way. Definitely well on your way, which is really exciting. For those that are just starting out in skiing or what, how did you say it? The new people?
So the never evers.
The never evers. Yeah, I like that. The never evers. So what type of advice would you want to give to the never evers that are listening right now that are like, I don't know if skiing's for me?
It's just like be patient and just keep trying. Like it's definitely hard learning at an older age because there is again that fear factor. But like trust the instructor because we're there to obviously help you. We're not trying to work against you. And I think sometimes when you start gliding down the hill, it's like, oh my god, I'm sliding and it's slippery and I'm just gonna charge and I'm gonna end up in the trees down there. And when you
Mhm.
start turning, there's also an element where it's like, oh, this feels okay. You start off kind of slow, but then you might accelerate a little bit. And then there's that fear that, like, oh my gosh, this is not for me. And everyone just falls over. Like, no matter how many times you fall over, just try and get up, keep trying. Because once you get it, it's
Mhm.
actually really fun.
It is, and I feel like it beats the winter blues that a lot of people can get. And even at work, we were talking about seasonal depression, how it's a real thing. It gets darker sooner, but it's such a great way to get outside and enjoy the outdoors to beat those blues too. So that's really
Yeah.
good advice.
It's
Really good advice.
a good way to make friends.
And friends from all over the world too.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful. I know, and even the travel vacations can look differently too, because when you're traveling now, you have opportunities to travel in the winter to go to other winter places, like go to
Yeah,
Switzerland, right? Go to France, ski the Alps. There's a lot more opportunity that way too. Hmm.
there is.
Very, very cool. So, is there any questions that you wish maybe I would have asked you or anything that we should have gone over?
I don't know, actually.
I was like throwing that question in like a little loophole.
I mean, like, I think like women to stay in the sport is probably like, I don't even know if that's a question. It's probably more of a statement. Like trying to encourage women to stay in the sport and continue be one main thing I'd like to put out there too.
I love that, and it's such a great reminder
Yeah.
that exactly, you can keep going, there's other levels, and like you said earlier too, don't get intimidated. Try
Yeah.
not to get intimidated. Are there any women skiers that have been really influential in your life that you've seen, whether it's, in races or anything that way?
Yeah, I actually last summer I read Lindsay Bond's was it biography, and that was actually really interesting to read. And it goes through like her whole mindset depending on certain races. And I was like, actually, she sounds a little bit like me. Like,
Hmm.
you're not gonna let anyone tell you no. You're gonna try and beat the boys. Try and keep up. Go for it and see what happens.
In the end, that's all that we can do. We
Yeah.
just have to go for it. And we have to do that one step in front of the other, whether it's skiing, whether it's another industry where there is a lot of male dominance. And I always like to preface and say, I love my men. I love the male influences in my life. But I do agree with you. It's a lot of limiting beliefs that women have when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
So bang on. And I'm really glad you brought that up because it's very true. And I hope that this podcast or episode will encourage some women that maybe have a great passion for skiing or snowboarding and start thinking, well, wait, I've never really thought about doing that and try
Yeah.
something different.
Exactly. It's a fun sport, and we've got a tight knit of some of the high level girls here. Like, and it's funny because you can tell like some of us like we're really determined and let's go, and then there's the other side, and they're still really good skiers, but they're a little bit more passive. And like I'm like, come on, like one of them's doing an exam today, and I went up to her and I was just like, you need to be aggressive. You need to like just go for it. Like don't be like a little sad person out there. Like trying to encourage her. Stop the bump.
Pep talk. I wish I could have you just on my shoulder anytime I need to do something scary. I'll be like, "Hey, Kristen, pump me up. Here we go. It's time."
Miracle
Oh,
work.
I love it. Well, it definitely sounds like you found the place that you need to be, whether it comes to the mindset, the encouragement,
Yeah,
working on your own mindset in order to be able to pass that on to others. And I think that's absolutely incredible what you're doing.
thank you.
Now, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me here at Silverstar.
Of course.
Yeah. My Instagram, I haven't been very active on it lately, but I will be more active on it soon because I feel like the busy period is over now. So I will have more time to do a little bit more content, and our training regime will boost up a little bit more. So I always try and like to take some videos of me training or the training situation, or like we start filming each other to like analyze each other for our next levels and to help us with our teaching and our eye on assessment. So
Mm,
putting a lot up on Instagram soon.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And what's your Instagram?
It's at Chalet Ski. So like a chalet that
Mhm.
you would live in and ski.
Perfect. I'll make sure to put it in this podcast episode as well. Thank you again just for spending the time
Yeah.
sharing a bit of insight into your world, which I think a lot of us can use throughout the winter months. And hopefully we can all connect and people be reaching out to get a lot of lessons.
Be fun. It's a really rewarding thing instructing. No matter what level you're at, like when you get someone to change or understand and they have that light bulb moment, it's like a really proud moment. Like, we got there. We got there and now you're gonna have a better time on snow.
Yes, exactly. Changing lives on the ski hill. That's
Yes.
exactly it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. Really appreciate you being here. If you like this episode, please subscribe, download a few more, and leave a review. I really would love to hear from you, what you enjoyed and what your key takeaways were. And of course, please let me know if there's any aspect of the travel industry you want me to talk about next. You can also search for the hashtag She Dares to Travel Podcast on Instagram and comment on the episode's post with your questions. I'd love to answer them all for you guys. I hope you enjoy your day, stay so well, and until next time, fly straight.